Hi guys, Reform UK and its supporters really hate Sadiq Khan. Not sure why, I can't put my finger on it, but they see him as the cause of all problems in London, and of course he needs to be replaced. So what are they focusing on? Knife crime. And of course Reform UK have simple solutions to complex problems. So one of their councillors was here criticising the Mayor of London for not stopping knife crime. And have a listen to how she would resolve it.
When you put that to the London Mayor Sadiq Khan, were you surprised by his response? Were you expecting a conversation?
I was expecting him to look at me and go, look, I know it's happening. I'm doing everything I can and it's heartbreaking. Just acknowledge how many more stabbings have to happen for him to just acknowledge it even. You know, and I know he can get things done. We all do, because if I go into central London and I don't pay my ULEZ charge, I can guarantee I'm on it. You know, I've got 2 days, it's going to double.
Okay. She's trying to compare knife crime with not paying your ULEZ charge. Okay. I'll explain why this is so stupid in just a moment.
We can do it. In New York, if there is a hotspot, they send in more police. You know what we do here? We send in an ULEZ camera. That's the difference. He's so focused on punishing motorists as opposed to punishing criminals. What's
the answer to this crime, chaos that everybody's feeling?
So we have a mayor who's halved stop and search. There's no visible policing. And as we know, only 6% of offences end up in a charge. So what Reform is going to do is we're going to add 30,000 police, but it's going to be targeted police. So if there is a knife hotspot, we will flood that with police. Why not?
Yeah.
It's such an easy thing. And stop and search will be used as needed. Also, if you're wearing a balaclava and you're walking in a hotspot, you will be searched.
Good.
Once again, simple solutions to complex problems. So why is there a massive amount of knife crime in London? Well, there are a number of reasons. First of all, gang violence and territorial disputes. So there are gangs operating in London, and they use knives as weapons to defend themselves and to assert dominance in those societies, in those communities, and to settle scores. But why are people getting into gangs in the first place? Well, social inequality and poverty. Young people are seeing very few opportunities for them, especially young people from ethnic minority backgrounds. They're living in deprived areas. And why are those areas deprived? Well, because the Conservatives decided to impose austerity. And this is one of the results of austerity. It's not the only reason, but it's part of the problem. Cutting public services resulted in cuts to support for young people. So they turn to violence, they turn to gangs for status, for protection, for survival in some cases. So this is one of the reasons why young people are carrying knives. Is this a legitimate justification? No, it's not. But this is the reality of the situation. There are also mental health issues. People who have mental health problems have not received the support they need, so they feel paranoia, they feel irrational fears, and they say, well, I need to have a knife to defend myself because everyone wants to come after me, because they're not getting the mental health support they need. Young people are using these weapons as ways to deal with conflicts. So one solution, of course, is to flood the place with police officers. Another is to fundamentally repair the causes of the problem. Once again, I've said this before, Reform and the Conservatives are more interested in fixing the symptoms and not the underlying problem. And what is the underlying problem? Social inequality and poverty. Look at why young people are getting into gangs. There's less support for them in the community. When it comes to the policing, the Conservatives cut policing. Now, Reform UK is talking about we're going to hire 30,000 police officers. They haven't said how they're going to pay for that, and they haven't said where these police officers are going to come from. I think one Reform UK MP said, yeah, we're going to use the military. And maybe it was even Nigel Farage. So, yeah, we have these ex-soldiers, veterans, we're going to use them as police officers, which is an insane idea. They're not interested in fixing the core problems here. They're interested in pretending that they care and trying to deal with the symptoms, not the core problem. And unfortunately, if you only deal with the symptoms, you're not going to eliminate this problem. There are fundamental underlying issues: poverty, social inequality, mental health support that need to be dealt with. And I don't think you're going to hear anything like that from Reform UK. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.